this curvature tool right here, which is this, it looks like a pin, but with this little line. And I take that and I put a point, you will automatically turn these into whatever you call it, curves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now here's another thing with this. You can sort of go boom, boom, and it just automatically starts curving. So sometimes if you're tracing something and it has a lot of curves in it that way, it'll sort of do them automatically. Like you can go, like if I had a curve, let's see if I can find this real quick, you know, and I could like click here and then pull a curve. Does that make sense? This one right here that lives with line segment, which just makes lines. It's a grid thing. Sometimes this comes in handy. You can click it, you know, 100 point, horizontal dividers, so on and so forth. How many I want, I could do, you know, I can push that in. Okay. And then when I grab this, it will give me a grid. Make sense?
Yes.
Which comes in handy. Now, another thing, you know, I could do that. Let's go here. And then I can go here and go skew. Let's go top and left. I don't know. See what it does? So it starts skewing the line work in different ways. So you could have sort of like a ledger where you have one big column and then smaller ones and all that kind of thing. This one's kind of, so this will just repeat your shapes. So let's go object, repeat, options. So I've got it 8, let's make it 11. Grid, we got it on radial, so let's see that. So it literally repeats your shapes. So if I do this, and let's change it. Let's go repeat grid. Mirror. So it just mirrors it. Now, here's another thing with the mirror. It'll mirror whatever I do. Make sense?
Yeah, that one's really cool.
Yeah, it can be when you need it. Then I could go here, you know. Now I got to double click out of here. You know, and then I have all this stuff. So that's all under repeat, okay? Object repeat. Let's say that I have a fairly complex illustration. And I had a lot of elements in here and it was complicated. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And, you know, it wasn't geometric. It was something that was actually hard to do. So I had trees, I had whatever. And I go, oh, I don't like this green. And I've got instances of this green throughout my illustration, okay? Now, what you normally would think you'd have to do is you have to go in and find all those instances of green. And if you got certain leaves that are that color and certain this and certain that, that's pretty hard to do. Does that make sense? But if I go up here, select, okay, select same fill color. it will pick all those colors, and then I can just go, okay, I want to change it to that. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes.
Now, what you can do here is you can go select same, and you could do it by blend mode, fill in color, fill in stroke, fill color, opacity, stroke color, stroke weight, shape, font family, all these things. So you can, if you have a very complex illustration, you need to go in and change something. That's one way to go and change it all globally. Yes?
Yeah.
Don't forget that it's important, is you do not want to have to go in there and try and pick everything. It's a pain in the ass.
Oh, I had a question.
Sure.
If there's a gradient that had that color in it, would it also be changed within the gradient?
I don't know. Let's see. So we have this. Let's go to our palette. So let's go this one, and let's go select same, fill color. Nope. Now what it probably will do, if I go select same, blend mode, then it picks it. Oh, it actually picked this too. So blend mode picks all of them. But
Okay.
let's see, select same. Yeah, okay, so in order to pick this green in there, I had to select blend mode.
What if you do the same fill color, but for the gradient one?
This is the same fill color.
Like if you selected same fill color for the gradient, it would pick up everything?
I don't know. No. Because it's looking at the blend, it's looking at the gradient as the fill color. So then for some reason, it's not including this because it's not a gradient, but when I go to gradient, it includes that color. When I go to blend mode, it includes that color. So right here is your charts, okay? So I'm gonna drag, now I can double click this and I'll get this, okay? But we'll look at that in a minute. I've got it select, I got this one selected, I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna put names in here at the top. So I'm gonna go, this is my fantasy art supply store. So we'll go paper. Oops. Canvas. Rag paper. Brushes. And these would be my pens, pencils. And now I'm going to go here and go give it numeric values. That's too much. I'm going to go high. And I'm going to say, click right here. I'm going to say, okay. You see what it gives me?
Oh, wow. Nice.
Now, what I usually do is, oops. Oh, shit. I screwed that. There it is. I'm going to get my white arrow tool. So I could go. Okay, here's a good example of this. I'm going to go here, select. This one probably will select too much. Same fill color. And I'm going to say, I want this to represent something. I don't know. So if I do that, select same fill color. Now I'm going to go to that. And it'll, that way it'll select the same things over here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go, let's try this. I can go here and go to type. Actually, and what this will give me is like, I can change where the legend is. The legend's here. I can go add legend across the top, which I just don't like. I can right click it and go, I can right click it and go data, and I can revise my data. Let's say I sold 35 canvases. And it will revise it in this, or instantly, basically. So let's go. And, you know, I can change my typefaces. I think you can select all of them. There is a way to do that. Yeah, right here. So I just selected them all with my white arrow tool. Okay, I should be able to select these and go to whatever. I can start to make these now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Another thing you can do, I could go here, right click, data. Okay. Right here, where is it? I think it's, let's start another one because I think I have to start another one to show you. But you have this right here. You can revert, or you could import data. So you could import the data into your table. Does that make sense? So there's different ones you can do here. So, you know, all these different ones. Here's a pie graph one. And let's go same thing. But there's some other options here. And then I'm going to go, okay. Now, I like to get rid of the outline. I don't like any outline on it. Now, if this was for, I could go, now here's another thing. I can select all this and I can go, I think it's under type. Okay, right here, it has standard legend. And I'm going to go legends in wedges. And you can see what it did. It put my type. I'm going to get my white arrow tool. Get this one. Make it a lighter value. So I had the option of putting it either over here in a legend or just in here. Make sense?
Yes.
Let's go back. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to go, let's go, this value is fairly, this is the dark, oh, this is the darkest value. So let's pick that. And then I'm going to go here and go to my, I thought I had it in here. No, no. I don't have it in here. Hang on. Go to my color guide. Then I'm going to pick this one. And okay, so now I can go, that was my darkest one. So I can go here. Oops. My white arrow tool. I want all these not to have outlines. And then I'm going to go, let's get rid of this. I'm going to go this one and go object or select same fill color. Then I'm just going to come over here and get a shade of it. And that was a lighter value, so I'll go to a lighter value. Oops. It switched on. And then maybe this is some other number that's important, let's say. So let's say this is a graph for Heal the Bay. So we're dealing with, I don't know which one that was. We're dealing with information about the water. So maybe this one, let's take all this and ungroup it. Pull this one out to highlight this number. Maybe this number is plankton created by pollution. The rest of it's just ocean stuff. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know, and I could use shades of blue, green. I could do that based on the depth of the water. I could, you know, there's all sorts of ways I could do it. Okay. That speak to what if I could do it in, you know, and then I could add 3D elements to this if I want. I could create, maybe I could replace these with, you know, do a little wave idea here. Actually, I'm gonna do this. I want to make this a fill. I'm going to go object, path, outline strokes, and now it's a fill. I'm going to go option, drag, shift, and then go control D, D, D. And go, you know, maybe take this idea. Maybe this one's my troublesome number. You know, and create a different thing based on my information from the last time. Just to give it some then I could have another one. It starts to create this idea of water in the ocean or whatever. Make sense? It's this thing we did yesterday. And if you remember, we put some texture in here, correct?
Yes.
Another thing we could do here, I just want to talk a little bit about texture. Actually, this should go the other way. Oops. This could probably go a little lighter. That's weird how it doesn't want me to do that. Okay, hang on. I'm going to knock this down a little bit. That's too much. And let's put maybe a mountain coming down here. Let's try a curvature tool here. There we go. Pretend that fits in there good. Okay, so let's just say we could take, okay, let's do this. Over here, combine these. Flip this again. And we can do some of those long. A little smaller. And then let's go to our shear tool. Put the anchor point there. You know, we can start to create some cloud shapes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's do this too. They're too big. Let's go this one. We'll probably come in here. I'm going to come in here and go to my make sure I can find it. And let's make it a little warmer. So why would I do that? Because it's reflecting from underneath. Oops. Now we're on a, what do you call it? Let's try that. And I'm just gonna, okay, so I'm gonna go Control C and then Control F. And what that does is it pastes one right on top of itself. So let's go arrange. Bring to front. And then I'm going to go Control 7 and make a little, what do you call it? Mask. So now I'm going to go double click inside of that. Trying to get to, oh, I got the wrong one. Because what I want to do, I'm going to lock this one. There it is. I think I want to go a little darker. And actually, maybe not darker, maybe denser. That's better. And get a little bit of that density in there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take this, group it. Oops. I didn't unlock it, so I got to unlock all. Grab this, group this. You know, and I could probably grab, just to make this one look a little different, I could come in here and change a couple of little things. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's nice.
And then let's go here. Maybe try the almost the same. So I'm kind of looking at it and going, this color's, you know, getting bounced around a little bit. It's too strong, but I'll switch it. And now I'm going to go to this one. Knock this down, it's a little too strong. You can kind of see it in real time right there. I'd probably change these back here to like a purplish color, but I won't do it right now. Then again, I should be able to go, man, I'm going to do a couple things here. Let's go. In this case, I want something real scattered. Maybe I'll shift that a little bit. Maybe these are wildflowers. Now I'm going to grab this shape. Control C, Control F. I should have one here on top. Range. Clipping mask. So now he started that, right?
Yeah, yes. Cool.
I want to change the color of this trunk a little bit so it'll differentiate itself. Oops. Damn it, as usual on the wrong thing. Just so bizarre. I'll just do it here. That's good. Oops. So this is close. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to make this a little warmer green. let's make this a little, just change a little bit. Just so we have a little temperature shift. You know, I could put some back here somewhere. Now, I wouldn't make it that big, obviously, but the only reason I'm putting it there is I could get this one now and push some blue into it, and it'll recede. Right? That makes sense?
Yeah.
There's that. And then off here, we need a ground plane. All this, let's get this, oops. This, and that, I think. I'm gonna group it. I'm gonna lock it. I'm gonna take all this stuff in the background. Send it to the back. Oops. This one needs to be unlocked. This is when somebody was asking about organizing layers. This is a good example of why I should have put things on different layers. But I mean, it's all improvised, so. Okay. And then this should go behind. Probably should be a little lighter too. Or some differentiate. Yeah, that's fine. This one might be able to do the view, texture, grain. See what it'll do. Now, what I should do is make this a gradient so it'll vary a little bit, but I'm going to do it quick. Might be a little too uniform. Yeah. I think it's going to be too uniform, but whatever. Just get a little texture on there. I want to pull back the opacity because sometimes, yeah, that'll make it a little more grainy. Okay, now one last thing. We'll fix the bottom in a minute. Let's just say it goes off frame right there. Sticking up that line. And I'm going to go width. Oops. Let's get closer here. I don't know what it's doing, man. There we go. Now, pretend that's a decent looking tree. I'm going to outline stroke, path, outline stroke. I'm going to, let's see if we can just do this. Probably still a little too close. Let's try this. Let's go to, let me forget where it is. God, oh, I think it's here. There it is. Let's go there and there. Then I can sort of change this up a little bit. It's not so the same. And then maybe this will just go on the other side. There. So again, pretend that's a decent looking tree. And then let's go. Now there's a bunch of ways we can do this next part, but we could go, I'm gonna go, I think I'm gonna combine these. And, you know, I could come in here and do something very stylized. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, there's a bunch of, I could come in here and do like we were talking about the other, like this, I would probably come in here with this. I don't want that crappy looking end. So I'd come in here with this and I'd whatever you call it, I'd taper it to a point. This needs to get smoothed a little bit. And I would just create this sort of cartoonish, stylized, whatever you want to call it, thing. I mean, there's a million ways you can do it. Do the same thing with this. Right? Could be darker. Doesn't have to be lighter. Let's go over here. It's give me some dark things. There. Okay. Then I could do the thing where we talked about up here. Up here, where we talked about bunching it and then having some leaves dancing off of it, right? Yes?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
Actually, this, I'm going to go lighter on this for a reason. Hang on. Everything's lagging for some reason. Because I feel like this should be darker. Oops. Now this is too light. Up there. Then here, where it meets the ground, I could probably use any rough brush for this. Let's try that. Yeah. I don't want it hitting the ground, you know. And I dial in this color a little more. Probably pull it out a little bit. I dial that in a little better. And then, you know, put my leaves in. And then I might take this. Oh, here's another little thing. I could go. I don't know if I have this brush anymore. Yeah, this is that one I made the other day. And I could take this. Oops. Oops. Grab this brush. And I could use that one that we made the other day as some sort of texture brush. Right?
Yeah.
And then I could
Oh, cool.
also grab this. Let's grab this. Bring this to the front. Where the hell's the range? There it is. Start giving that some texture. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do one more. Just trying to see how dense it should be. Hang on. Oh, what happened? Oh, that was scary. Okay. Come on. Hang on. Got something weird going on here. Okay, let's just take that. And I'm gonna go a little darker. Let's go really dark. Probably have to knock that down a little bit. That's all right. And probably maybe not make it quite as dark. I think the light should be lighter. So let's go. It's really saturated. I got too much of the same browns in here, but you get the point, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the different way. Now, what I'd also break up here I'd get some, however I did it. Oops. Oh, another thing you could do, and I'll show you in a second. I think I just screwed that up, but it will. Let's start putting some grass up here to break this edge. And then I'd put another, you know, this kind of thing over it. Not that one, but some sort of texture so it doesn't hit the ground looking so hard edged. And then I'd also probably right here, grab this. Go back to here. Get something like maybe this. And break up that edge right there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be a hard edge. I want it to be a soft edge, you know, like a nat. This should come in front. I don't know why it didn't. Yeah. You know, and then again, I'd make sure there's some texture down here in front of that. And start building a scene. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The thing is, you always got to keep. There we go. You know, and it'd start like that. But do you understand how you got to use, you know, not got to, but you can use texture?
Yes.
I think it's super important. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want a super flat graphic, and that's fine. And sometimes you want something that has a little more of an organic quality to it, and you can do it this way. Or you could use some free-handed brushes, and you know, you could usually using a combination of both. You know, I might be some shape making with my pen tool, and then some freehand stuff with brushes, and so on and so forth. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, and one other thing. So if you take a shape, object, clipping mask, release. Let's just take this shape. Don't need that. Let's take this. And let's make a color out of it. And of course, it's the wrong one. And then I come in here and I go, I want to paint, I'm going to use my custom brush, but I'm going to go, let's grab my brush. Let's grab my custom brush, wherever that is. Actually, it's right here. We want this one. I don't want this. Just, oops. We want that. Right here, you can see these three little things here. Draw behind, this is normal, and then draw in side. So I'm going to grab this. I think I have the same brush. And it will only draw inside that shape. So if you're freehanding, you want to freehand some texture in here, this is a nice way to do it. You don't have to create a clipping mask or any of that stuff. You can just freehand inside of it and then click out of it, and there it is.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Let's go here. You want to get out of, you know, you're normal right here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab this, grab this, grab that, go really big. See that?
Yes.
Click out of it. Of course, Wacom won't let me do that. Double click out of it. And now I've got that. Okay. And then if you notice right here, it's popped back to my normal thing. So draw behind, draw inside, and then normal. Okay. So that really helps with like textures and things where you just want to, if you want to go in freehand, I'm really trying to encourage everybody to try freehanding, especially if you have any drawing ability or painting ability. That combination of things can give you a little bit of an advantage because most people go after super flat, and super flat looks really cool in Illustrator, so it's fine. I mean, I get it. Okay, does that all make sense?